Blank.
Hello SRL fans, and this is a juicy race for you today. As you can see, we have many drivers, many drivers, probably, well, better than the round one turnout that we had. Today we got 1 hour at Imola. Very nice track. I like this track. Not raced it on this, but I've raced it on other games. You know, very fun track to drive. For me anyway, but we have a great race here today because we have a lot of turnout, a lot of good drivers, a lot of, well, you already know, Jeremy Pope. Where is he? Where is he? There he is, in that Porsche. We saw what he did last time out at Daytona, and he was ridiculous. He absolutely ran the field and made everyone look like rookies. That's saying it nicely, to be honest. And today, I feel like it's going to be no different. I feel like Jensen might have been practicing a little bit more just to get back on the pace. I feel like he had the pace last time, but his consistency just wasn't there, so he just kept spinning the car. Jensen might have ironed out the cracks just to compete with Jeremy Pope today. Also, Sandro Dulius coming in second last round. He did really well. Obviously didn't start too well, ended up dropping back to fifth. A really good recovery drive by him. Really did well, come back into second in that round. And I feel like Dion Stahl became third last round. And that rounds out your podium sitters the last round. Dion did really well. He ran a strategy that was just really unordinary. He was right at the back at the start of the race, which was crazy. And he made his way back up just by being consistent, staying at the front of the rest of the pack, and just drove. It was really good. Everyone else today going to be trying to get better results than he did last week. A couple people like Max Mulder. He's a really good driver, but he just kept spinning out last round, and it really just hindered his race. He had the pace, he had what he needed to get into those good positions, good points paying positions, but in the end he just kept spinning out. And at the end of the day, if you can't keep it on track, you're not going to finish in higher places. Can't see the drivers anymore, but I believe we do have a pretty big turnout, to be honest. I think we might have a full grid here. We'll see once this loading screen is done. So we're just popping into qualifying now. See who's going to be the fastest driver of them all. Again, to reiterate, everyone has a chance of winning this race if they really do put their foot down. I mean, last week, Jeremy Pope actually qualified 5th, I believe. So you can, and you know, in the race, your race pace is going to be a lot better than qualifying. And I feel like race pace is a lot more important than qualifying, because you can have a really good in qualifying but have absolutely horrible race pace. I don't know who's gone out. We'll see who's got out. Alright, we have Jensen Randall. Hello, Jensen Randall. Jensen Randall last week came 5th. Started pole, I believe, and came 5th. Bit of a bottle job race, to be honest. I mean, it was a good recovery drive, but in the end, to get up to 5th, but he kind of ruined his own race of not keeping the car on track. I hate these conditions because I can't see anything. And it makes life a bit frustrating. So Dion's on track, I believe. Hello, who's this? Victor Larson, which is spicy, 150. It wasn't here last week. It's a new well, he isn't a new driver, but he is a new entrant because he didn't race last week in round 1, so he should. We haven't seen him yet. He might shake it up a little bit. Might be faster than everyone on track. You never know. Who else is on track? Sam. Sam is on the track now. Let's have a look at Jensen because he was the first out. Right, so Dion's out, Louie is out. Victor is out. Fonz is out. Rene is out. And Jeremy Pope's teammate is out. I'm joking, man, don't worry. Rob Small. He didn't really have a good finish, like I think he rage quit last time. He was so far behind. So hopefully we don't get that this time. That would be great. Another look at the splits. Speed up. We're going to see. My prediction for pole is Jensen in this qualifying, but my prediction for the race, it just purely out of the dominance last week with Jeremy Pope. This is a little bit of a more cornery circuit, so he might struggle a little bit. I feel like Sandro will come third, and my second place I feel like Jensen. I feel like it will be Jeremy Pope, Jensen, and then Sandro in this qualifying. I think. Well, not in this qualifying, in the race. But in qualifying, we've got Jensen, and then it'll probably be Jeremy Pope and then Sandro. But we'll see. I mean, Nick Van Gelder last week was not very good, to say the least. I feel like he was like 10 minutes back from everyone. He started really well, and then just ended up spinning a bunch of times and just gave up. So I feel like Jensen is on a lap now. Back like a fly. Oh no. And here we go. Good lap by everyone coming through right now. You know, as I said, this race is going to be a bit different. There's new people coming in, new factors, you know, so it's going to be a bit of a mad one, to be honest. But Victor Larson goes P2. Jensen is third. Jeremy Pope, our last winner, he's fourth. Now Sam Brandt has gone third. Cameron Weston Edwards is sixth. Rene Van Stapp is seventh. Jura Marusic is eighth. Definitely not set a good time there though, because I mean he's in the 2-minute 5, so you know he might have had a mistake. So you know I don't feel like that is really the lap he wanted. As you can see, Rob Small car is absolutely smashed already. I don't know what he's been doing. Maybe saying hello to the cows in the field next to this track. I don't know. But we do know he is 9th and he's 11 seconds off pole sitting. So, yeah. Rene So, still yet to make set a lap. Is Nick Van Gelder. Also Max Mulder. Also Reese Marsh, who is my teammate in F2 in IRL, and also races in the F1 in SRL. I'm hoping, I really want to see Reese do well because he's my teammate in F2. So Reese, you better not do me dirty, mate, because I really want you to do well. So, here we go. Jensen, probably on a lap now, so we will have a watch on him. Max Mulder's got a 1 grid place penalty because he got a pit lane violation, which is not ideal. So, Jensen is actually 7 tenths down on his lap, which is not ideal at all. So, we've got 3 different people at the top right now. We've got Dion and Victor, and then Sam, which is actually quite mental because these guys, well, except for Dion finishing on the podium last week, these guys weren't even here last week. Victor and Sam weren't even here, so it's quite interesting to see that Victor is really in that P2 position. But as we said, qualifying is not everything, and race pace is everything, because you qualify second, first. Jensen proved it last week, last round out even, that you can qualify P1 and finish 5th. You know, it just depends how your race goes. If you keep it on track, you end up actually coming in a nice position. So Dion in that McLaren is absolutely eating and feasting right now. I mean, he's just doing a great job. I feel like if he improves his lap anymore, I feel like everyone's kind of struggling with these conditions. I mean, we had a wet race last time, and we've had a wet race now, a wet qualifying now, and I don't know if the rain is going to stop, but we have not seen any dry running, to be honest. It's always been foggy and wet, so we haven't really seen dry pace from anyone at the moment, which I feel like Jensen might be a bit better at, but these wet conditions might be a bit tricky for him. We haven't really seen any improvements from anyone, not yet anyways. I mean, Sandro down in 8th, I mean, he will definitely want to improve, considering he qualified a lot higher last time and finished 2nd last time. He's up on his time by 3 tenths, so this is very good for Sandro. He needs to improve a little bit more to even pass Nick though. Let's have a look. Anyone else on a lap? Sam is off the side, so I'm guessing he's not on a lap. Victor is 1 tenth down in his time. So it's looking like Dion is, well, losing it on track, but it looks like he is sitting at the top pretty right now. And no one else can really make that 1 second difference up. But as we've seen, people make it up in the race, such as Jeremy Pope here, sitting in the pits. I mean, he finished 1st last time, and I think he qualified 5th. So, you know, it will totally depend. But I think Dion, I feel like I think he may win this race if he keeps it on track. Because last time he had a moment in the first couple of laps, and that kind of ruined any chances of winning, but he could come back into that podium position, which was absolutely amazing from Dion. I've congratulated his performance and after qualifying, after race interviews, and I really was impressed with his whole race. But Nick Van Gelder and Sandro Dulius still 1, 2 and 3 together. Nick is only 2 tenths off Dion, but we saw this last time when Nick qualified in a good position or near enough the front and then ended up being at the back by like 10 minutes. So if Nick can at least just finish this race and have as good as a race as he has quali, he should be fine. Which is easier said than done. So we have Sam right now. I feel like he might be on a lap because he's absolutely cruising around that corner. Jensen down in 7th, which is very not ideal at all. considering many people probably would have had him as favourites for this whole championship at the moment, but he's not really had a great showing this round right now, but he might make it up in the race. Cameron just behind him. Reese, I am very proud of you, mate. You were in the top 10. Just get one more position and you're scoring points, my dude. So that's qualifying over. That was a very, well, I wouldn't say close qualifying, except for Nick and Dion, but as you can see, your pole sitter is Dion Stahl, Nick Van Gelder taking second, and Sandro Dulius taking third. So, as you, well, I was about to say as you can see, but you can't really see very much. This fog is an absolute pain, not only for you, but for me, because I can't actually see the action massively. And I have to go like on board, but I don't really want to do that because it makes it a bit rubbish because you lot can't really see on track, but we'll see. So Dion Stahl, Nick Van Gelder, Sandro, Victor, Sam Brant, Cameron Weston Edwards actually took 6th in the end. Jeremy Pope, your race winner last time, 7th. Jensen Randall, 8th. Reese Marsh, 9th. René van der Staat, Fons van Hazen. Then you've got Rob Small in 12th. Joe Marusic in 13th. And Max Mulder in 14th. I'm quite surprised about actually because he won the Derby, the Snow Derby, like a month ago. And he was actually really quick and consistent. But he's kind of gone backwards from watching him race in GT3 cars. So we will see. For this race to go underway, you're gonna have a rolling start. He did it last time, just kept it on track, done really well. I think people might be, people last week might be quite lucky in a way. Off we go for the race. So we're having a rolling start here. You can't really see much, which is quite frustrating. Nick is in front already. If we go, let's go. So we have Dion still in front of Nick. I feel like Dion is just edging in front of Nick at the moment. We see Victor spinning out there. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Takes out Nick Van Gelder. Sandro picks up the pieces alongside Cameron Weston Edwards. Dion is storming at the front because he has not got in any of those incidents. Sam has taken 4th. Jeremy Pope from 7th has gone to 5th. Jensen Randall has followed him, gone to 6th. Nick Van Gelder dropped all the way from P2 to P9, which is really unlucky because he got caught up with Victor, who had a spin. It's been absolutely ridiculous. That start was ridiculous, but as we can see, Dion Stahl is leading the way. No surprise there, keeping it on track very nicely. Sandro not too far behind. Might have a lot better racing today because, you know, this track is has got a lot more corners than last week and doesn't rely on pace. And that is Sam going really, really wide. Jeremy Pope on the back end of his car. Probably going to try and make that position stick if he can make it. As we see, as he emerges from the smoke, he's off Sam's back end of the car, and Jensen is right on the rear end of Jeremy Pope here. Jeremy Pope seems to be struggling. Dion is 1 second in front of the car, which is Sandro Dulius. Cameron Weston Edwards is dropping back behind Sandro, and this gap is already extended. Dion and Sandro are absolutely pulling away. Cameron just doesn't really seem to have the pace to keep up with Sandro at the moment, but I might be wrong. No, I am not wrong, because Dion is lapping near enough 2 seconds ahead of everyone else, which is absolutely ridiculous. So as you see, well, you can't really see much, but you're going to have to see by the headlights. So Jeremy Pope is 5th, Sam just in front, Jensen just behind Jeremy Pope. You can actually see Rene, who's around? I don't know who's around. Is that Rob Small? It was just around there. That was Rob Small just around in the Porsche. Max is in the pits and he's already 2 minutes behind, and they've just given up on this race. As you can see, the gap's opening up now, and you know, people are pulling away. The people who have more pace on race pace, and then this is what I was telling you. If you have that race pace, you can actually pull away. But I feel like Sandro may have made a mistake, or Cameron is driving a lot faster now, because Sandro is only 1.4 seconds ahead, and a moment ago he was 2 seconds. So Cameron, oh my goodness, Sandro goes so deep into that corner there and spins, half spins. He's lost any positions and he would be very frustrated with himself. You're at Farron Place. I can see you in the chat, man, don't worry. Hope you're having a good day. Enjoy the race. It's been a good one so far. Sandro makes it back up into P4, takes it straight off René van der Staap. Sam is in P2, didn't actually race last week. I feel like he had something on, so you know, he's making his debut in season 2 with some other drivers. Jensen Randall has actually found himself in P3, done really well. And yeah, I was right. One of the Porsches spun round, and it was Jeremy Pope, last week's race winner, just getting it all wrong, and it's totally spun the car, unfortunately for him. So we'll pick up this battle here, because this is the closest one on the track at the moment. Loads of cars. Nick Van Gelder making his way back up from that spin from the start of the lap. Nick Van Gelder gives René a bit of a bump. Racing down. It's that first corner. Look how many cars there are. Absolutely ridiculous. Dion is now 7th. Definitely made a mistake. I didn't pick it up, unfortunately, but he has made a mistake. Cameron Weston Edwards finds himself P1 of all places. He finds himself P1 from realistically, I think he started like P6 or P7. Absolutely ridiculous by Cameron, but done really well. But Sam overtakes him easily. But Sam gets onto the gravel, and Cameron comes straight back at him with Jensen just coming in, and Cameron takes a position away from him. And this is a great battle here. Absolutely ridiculous. Sam, I feel like, has the straight line speed because of the slipstream, and Cameron just can't get away from him right now. And this is the crucial thing we saw last race. That straight line speed is absolutely key, and they go off. Sam goes all the way off into the gravel, and Jensen will take P2 away from him. Absolutely ridiculous. Driving from these guys is absolutely bumping and barging everyone, and Jensen takes P1 over everyone else. I'm not surprised. He's kept it clean and he's quick. He's been quick, so you know what, I'm really not surprised. But Jensen is P1. Oh, that's a car off right there. That might be Rob Small. Yep, that is Rob Small. Oh, here we go, a battle right here, P6 and P5. Don't worry about that Porsche, he's not in the battle. So here we see, that's Dion Stoll, who is actually teammates with René, that is behind him. So these two might be working together now against Funds, just to fend him off. Dion actually lapping a 49.7, so he's doing pretty well, and Sandro is also lapping pretty quickly. But as you can see, they're lapping quickly, but they have made mistakes, so they're going to have to work to make up for those mistakes that they have made. As we can see, Rob Small trying to just get out of the way of everyone. Sam and Cameron are battling away, and this gives Jensen Randall a good advantage to just absolutely blitz and go and leave everyone behind. I mean, Jensen, even though he had a bad outing last time, he could really make up for this, because The only person that's really scored points last time was Sandro and Dion, and they are in 4th and 5th. So if Jensen to stay first, and of course this is a race of endurance, so if he can stay first and people behind him just make mistakes, he should be fine. Of course he would want Cameron and Sam to be in front of Sandro and Dion, because they finished pretty well last week and got some good points. Of course Sandro only finished 1 position away from first. So here we go, Sam getting really close now to the back of Cameron's car, but as we know, Cameron does defend very, very hard, and in these GT3 cars you can make a lot more of it a lot more of a predicament for the driver behind you to get past, because you can plant that car, because it is a lot, I think it's a lot quicker than a F1 car in terms of width. As you can see, spread it out now. So Jensen isn't totally dropping everyone off, but he has set the fastest lap on the last lap of 1:40. Oh, Cameron gets a bit out of shape on the entry there, but everyone behind him is not catching up right now. They're actually just keeping pace and probably making mistakes, which is not ideal. But as you see, Jeremy Pope this is what I mean, last race wins it all, and this race is now 20 seconds behind the leaders, which is mental. So Nick Van Yoda sets a 1:48.6, and Jensen just goes, you know what, I don't care about your 1:48.6, how about a 1:47.1? Sam is just a little bit behind, about a 10th behind of Jensen's fastest lap, and he gets past Cameron. Cameron goes really deep there. Sam will probably be very happy he's past Cameron now, because he can just get released to try and go get Jensen Randall. He may have the pace to actually go get him, because Sam set that lap behind Cameron, and that's not going to be your fastest lap. So if he's got clean air now and he can actually go and catch, and by the looks of it, it does look like he's catching. He's already 1 second behind Jensen, which is really good for us, because we can watch this battle unfold, which is exactly what we want. But it's not good for Jensen, because it means he's got more hassle behind him in the form of Sam Brunt and even Cameron Weston Edwards, because if they are battling, time gained will be massive for the people behind. Dion Stoll. So as you can see, the battle for the last points position is very much there. All these cars right behind each other. I don't really want to cut off first place thing, but Sam is 1.5 behind. As you can see, Fun's just behind Victor here, and Rene just behind Fun's, and this is, Rene will want to get 8th, so that's the last point position. Fun's goes on the right side of the car, takes alongside the Ferrari. That Mercedes might have that, oh my goodness, that is a massive shove, and he's kept it on track. How he's done that, that was a very good save by Victor Larson. A bit of argy-bargy leading to a bit of a spin, and I think there's a little bit of battling going on. I can't completely see it, but there's position changes, and I feel like he might have let Funds through there because he kind of cut the track a little bit, but I feel like he did get a little bit of a shove, so not really his fault, but you know, that's actually quite respectful. So Sam hasn't totally left Cameron behind. Cameron's only 1 second, but obviously that might extend over a couple laps time. Jensen set at a 1:51 last lap, so not as fast. as before. I might have made a mistake, but that's okay. Max has made pretty decent headway, but Marusic and Rob Small are pretty much in the weeds, and I don't feel like they're going to get back anytime soon. Max might get back into this race, you never know. He's setting a 1:49.5, but he'd be pretty disappointed he's so far behind already. But we will cut on to this battle here, which is Sandro and Dion Stall. So we'll see how well this fares for Dion, because he is behind Sandro and he has that slipstreak. This is for the 4th position. I feel like on outright pace, Dion might have Sandro here. As you can see, it's a 1:48 compared to a 1:49. Nearly a second difference between these two. So I feel like Sandro does have the pace, but right now Dion is kind of just making it work a bit better in that McLaren. But Jensen just proving again why he's at the front. A 1:47.1, absolutely ridiculous. This is a very close battle here. Fly high, Jeremy Pope. Oh, just a bit of a nudge, just a little bit of a love tap. Says hello, I'm here. Get in to P8. So now he is scoring points. Our race winner from last week is now scoring points. He'll probably want to get a little bit higher though. Might be a little bit difficult to catch up to Jensen Randall, unless Jensen makes a mistake, which is of course a very at this present moment I've not seen Jensen make any mistakes, so at this moment it's a very small chance of it happening. So we've just seen Cameron, well we didn't see it, but we saw Cameron on the race direct, so he's just overtaken Sam. Seems like Cameron's actually found a lot of pace in this back end and starting to get used to this track, taking the line very nicely through these corners, and actually getting used to his car on this track. You see Max is setting pretty decent times back at the back, but not quick enough to catch the guys in front. Dion and Sandro are battling it out, and Dion has overcome Sandro. Sandro will not be having any of that and will definitely be trying to get that position back. Definitely got that slipstream though. That slipstream will definitely help Sandro out. But I feel like Dion might just have the edge right now. Just a little bit, just a tiny bit on Sandro. Sam went pretty wide there. I think Jensen made a mistake. Yeah, Jensen has made a mistake, and Cameron Weston Edwards is P1. I can't really see on this track, guys, so I'm sorry if I do miss any of the overtakes. I'm pretty much using a race director to see how close it is, and the race director isn't very accurate sometimes. But Cameron takes the lead of this race, and Jensen, I don't know what has happened to Jensen in the last couple of laps, but it seems like he has made a couple mistakes here and there. Like I said, Jensen, until he makes a mistake, and they pick up the pieces behind them, and that is Cameron Weston Edwards picking up the pieces behind Jensen Randall. Sam is now near 3 seconds away from this battle for first, but it is very, very likely he'll probably catch back up if these two start battling. You know, I've seen it way too many times where the first place is just under pressure and they just crash out of sheer trying to drive the fastest they can, and they just take the line the wrong way once, and that's all she wrote. See you later, off onto the gravel track. And it takes you about another good 10 laps to try and even get near the front again. As you can see, Sergio Julius is still right behind Dion, piling on the pressure. Victor Larson in P7, and he has got Jeremy Pope behind him. Bit of an intimidating driver to have behind you because he was the race winner last time, but Larson probably doesn't know that. Or he might know that, and he might be defending for his life. So as you can see here, very close. You can tell Fly High definitely just wants to dispatch Larson now because he's right behind him, and I feel like once he gets in front of him, he might just start leaving these two behind. Seems like Fly High does have the pace to just get past, and I don't know what has happened to Larson there. He might just not have the slipstream, and it's just his car is just so slow compared to these two. I mean, we saw last time out how fast that Porsche was in a straight line compared to everyone else. And here we see, look, Fun's making a little bit of a mistake now, and Fly High might be, oh my goodness, who is off the track? I don't know who is off the track there, but someone was off the track. So Fly High is already 1 second in front, kind of gets a bit lucky that, you know, they're making mistakes behind him. Dion and Sergio just not breaking each other right now, just sticking with each other in this race. They don't really seem to break out of 1 second with each other. I leave for a couple of laps and they're still together. Nick Van Gelder is just alone here. He's in no man's land in P6, and he's really trying to make up the time to Sandro Dulius and Dion in front. Sam, I don't know, his pace kind of dropped off and he's not really been able to catch up with Cameron or Jensen at this moment in time. I really do want to see Sam catch up with Jensen and Cameron, and I also want to see Dion and Sandro catch up. Quite interesting to see these battle each other. But I don't think there'll be a pit stop today because this lap, it's not a very big race at all, and we have like near enough 39 minutes left, and you can already see Jensen's still at 90 litres of fuel in his car. Like, I don't think he's making a pit stop at any time soon. Cameron nearly has like 20 litres less fuel than him, so I don't know who is in that car at the back there, but I feel that's Max. So as we can see here, Jensen makes the move on the inside, and that is a very nice move by Jensen. And now we can actually see the racing because the fog seems to be clearing. Thank goodness for that. We never know. Oh, and Jensen just makes another mistake there, and Cameron just goes, thank you very much, mate, and I'll take that position right off you. It just seems to be the norm right now for drivers. They take a position, they do really well to get in there, and then they make a mistake, and that is literally been the first round summed up, and then now this second round again. But you know what, I can't criticise because it's not easy to keep concentrating for so long. You know, you know, if you keep driving, eventually you're going to make a mistake. You know, that's just natural. But especially if you're pushing on the limit, which I know Jensen does and I know Cameron does, because I've raced them in F2, F1, and they're not to be messed with, I suppose, if you want to say that. Jensen right behind still, so we're watching this battle for the lead. We're quite lucky because this battle is for the lead and not for like P13, so it gives it a bit more provenance, if you want to say that. So Jensen just behind Cameron now. Sam is catching. ever so slightly. It'll be quite painful for Sam because he's only just... Oh, and as I say that, Sam is not catching anymore and he's in the gravel trap. And that behind him is Dion and Sandro. And this is big because Sandro did finish P3 last time and they're coming up on P3. And Sam, I feel like, is just feeling on track and driving very fast like drivers in round 1. But he is still in P3, so he cannot complain. But that mistake has now put Dion just behind him and giving him just a reason to keep going. So, as you can see, Jeremy Pope, I think he may be catching Nick. Might be, I'm not sure. I've not really seen him in the last couple of laps and the last splits, but on that straight line speed, look at that. Look at that delta go down on that straight line speed. Absolutely ridiculous. Sandro's kind of dropped off the back of Dion now. He's 2 seconds behind. But if Dion makes a mistake, there's, you know, the seconds will be made up. So, you know what, you can't put Sandro out just yet. I'm not gonna lie, I'm really favouring Dion right now though, because I do like the McLaren. Probably one of my favourite cars, and he has one of the nicest liveries that I've seen. I really like that livery on that car. So hopefully Dion can do well. I do like that car, give that car some justice. So it's alongside Cameron and he goes round the outside. Nice little move by Jensen there. Cameron probably will not have any of that and will be probably trying to take that position straight back off him. Goes very, very, very aggressive into that corner. Don't know, he might have Jensen on the straight here. If he keeps in the slipstream, he could theoretically try and have Jensen, but Jensen is ahead and he is in first place. Jeremy Pope, like I said, has now catched up to Nick Van Yoda. Jeremy Pope seems to be unlocking his pace in the race. A lot of the time, you know, he didn't have an amazing quali, but he's unlocking his pace in the race and he's still got 34 minutes to make up the time. And that car is rapid in a straight line. That car is absolutely rapid. A Porsche makes every other car look so slow. But here we go. Cameron Westner is on the back of Jensen Randall's car. Very close. They're very close, and one mistake can separate them. That is literally the race now. Like, you make one mistake, you go onto the grass, the next driver is going to overtake you and take your position off you. You know, that's how GT3 has been so far, and this is what's really. It's not been like anyone really like doing insane overtakes and having insane pace. You know, it's just been someone might be going off the track, and you know that might just tip them off the edge, and you know. That decides the race at the end of the day, you know, and we saw that. Sandro Dulius has dropped off quite significantly to Dion. Dion is now 3 seconds ahead of him. Jeremy Pope, he's worked his way up into 6th place. I think he'll be very happy with that so far because, you know, he was near on 10th at one point, and obviously, you know, that wasn't ideal for him, but he's made Nick now sit in P7. Like I said, Nick tends to have this trait where he starts at the front and just drops back and back and back and back and back, and he just doesn't regain the pace. And I don't know what has happened. I know he had the spin. I know he got hit, unfortunately, by Victor Larson. I don't know where Victor Larson is. I believe he might have left. Yeah, I feel like, yeah, he's left. We don't have that many runners anymore. So, as you can see, Dion is right on that back end of Sam. Like, he's coming. Sam knows he's coming as well, you know. He can feel the presence of that McLaren. Cameron is still behind Jenson Randall. You see there, Sam was just turning around at the start of that straight. Come on board with these guys. I don't know how close Cameron is, but he's getting pretty close to him now. That is a lap car. That is Rob Small, that is not Jeremy Pope. You can see Dion is very, very close. He's catching him. He wants that number. He wants that number. He wants third. He wants Sam's position. Of course, I feel like if Dion gets this finish, he might become second in the championship. Because Sandro is fifth. But then again, Jeremy Pope is still P6. And he has a lot of work to do to get back up to Sandro though. Trying to make up 11 seconds, and to be honest, Sandro is lapping at pretty much the same pace. You know, these guys, they are fast drivers, and I feel like once they adapt to the track, they actually do pretty well. So I can see Cameron is very close to Jenson Randall right now. He's on the back end of his car. Brakes just so he doesn't punt Randall off the track. So I feel like Cameron did take it a bit easy there, didn't go for the dive. Of course, these aren't F1 cars, so they don't have the aerodynamics that an F1 car does, and you can dive and just go out of the corner like it's nothing. In these, you are travelling, so you've got to be very careful with dive bombs and just overtaking in general, because you go flying. So I believe we have just lost 2 more people, so we only have 9 people left in this, and that is Rene and Fun's in that last points position. Rene has been lapped, that's why Fun's is literally behind him. But as we pick up this, Dion Starr is just behind Sam now. Alright, so as we can see, Dion is literally just behind Sam now. He's making up ground massively. I'm not surprised, because Dion was the quickest in qualifying. And the second quickest is 7th. Nick is 7th, and I feel pretty bad for him. I think he's had a bit of bad luck recently. You know, I don't feel like he should be 7th. He should be like where Sam or Dion is right now, but it is what it is. That is racing. So Dion pulls out. Oh my goodness, a little bit of a touch there. Sam has been overtaken by Dion, and I thought that the dive. Oh, a little bit of argy-bargy there. Oh, that was a going for that dive bomb. Dion might. Alright, this invites Sandro to try and make up a bit of time on these guys. As you see, Dion is just behind Sam, and this might get a little bit argy-bargy because, you know, they had a little bit of a moment there in that first couple of corners, and I don't think Dion is very happy at all. So Dion is probably going to make him pay with a nice little bump. Yep, there we go. He's just made him pay with a nice little bump right up the back of the car. And you can see it's getting very tasty because Sam will probably give him a bit of his own taste of his own medicine. Dion very much easily takes that position, but I feel like Sam will probably go for a move on him if he can get the slipstream, but that McLaren is rapid and just gives him the NO as you're not catching me, you're not catching me. But as you can see here, Sam is on the back of Dion Star. I feel like Sam just doesn't have the oomph Dion's McLaren has. As you can see, Dion is pulling away a little bit from Sandro, but this racing between these two, this little bit of argy-bargy is actually giving Sandro a bit of an opportunity to get back into this. As you can see, Jeremy Pope hasn't really made up tons of time, if not no time at all on Sandro. Sandro is lapping really nicely. Dion gives Sam a little bit of the argy-bargy shoulders, weaving, breaking that slipstream. Dion's having none of it. Dion's saying, I'm the quicker one out of us two, stop trying to get in my way, you know, I want this position. But Sam is saying, no mate, that is my position, I've been in there longer than you, I want it. So this is going to be a very interesting battle indeed. I feel like that McLaren is a little bit quicker on the straight, but Dion, look, I told you, makes a mistake, loses the position. Sam's like, thanks mate, see you later, I'll take that. And now Sandro is behind him, and now we are very close here, and I'm very, very, very happy that these guys are getting very close, because this makes this a lot more interesting for us. As you can see, Cameron has nearly worked his way closer to Jensen, but not close enough yet. These two are lapping very quickly. It's like they've been very consistently fast, and I don't think they're going to let up anytime soon. As you can see, Sam is in third, and he has told Dion, yeah mate, it's my position, I'm keeping it. But Dion is catching back up to Sam, as is Sandro Dulius. He's done actually very well, Sandro, I'd say, because in that little section where he was dropping off, I feel like he's kind of gone, you know what, I've got a lot more in the tank, boom, smashed it, 148.4. But Jensen pretty much said, nah mate, you're not as quick as me, and posted a 146.7. So the pace difference, you know, between the back and the front, you know, is quite prominent, you know. I mean, Jeremy Pope, don't get me wrong, he's setting good times. 148.7, you'd think, oh yeah, that's great, you know, but he still isn't catching these guys, and he has a lot of work to do. He's got 24 minutes left to get back up. There's obviously no way I feel Jeremy Pope will win this race, but at least catch up to Sandro is a possibility if there is a mistake involved with Dion and Sam. Sandro is only, I feel like he'll only be about 1.5 seconds behind soon. He's not really getting dropped off by these guys because, you know, they keep battling, they keep squabbling, and, you know, it just invites Sandro to go, yeah, you know what, I'm here mate, and I'm going to take these positions off you. So if Sam and Dion makes a mistake, you know, it gives them a good chance to take the position away from him. But I feel like Dion's had the pace, and I feel like nearly went on the inside of Sam, and that McLaren has just got a lot better traction out of that corner, and he's on the outside of Sam. Sam gives him a little bit of room there, not making it entirely easy for Dion. Moves over to cover, but that McLaren is just munching on the straight, and yeah, Dion gives him a little bit of a shove. Sam gives him a little bit of a fender bender at the back as well, and this is getting very, very interesting now because Sandro Jr. in the background is coming, and Dion goes wide again, and that's going to really compromise his run out of the corner. Sam is just behind. That McLaren is ridiculously fast. It is very quick in a straight line. So Sam is now under pressure from Sandro Julius as well. This line of cars here has just been formed over battles. They're doing like really, really intense battling, and Sandro is kind of just picking up the time behind them, and that is Sam. Gets a better exit than not Sandro, Dion. But as you said, like Sam's 140, Dion is 150 already, you know, like, but that slipstream might be helping just a little bit on Sam's part, but the McLaren has just seen that it doesn't have any slipstream, it's still slipping really nicely out of the corners and onto the straights. But as you can see, Sandro is dropping behind just a little bit now. Not really. Sam just behind Dion. The McLaren seems to have a lot more straight line speed, but the Lamborghini seems to have a lot of slow speed corner. A lot of better high speed McLaren as well. But the Acura, I think that's quite an all-rounded car. That's why Sandro picked it. Oh, so as you can see, Cameron Weston Edwards is 5.6 seconds behind Jensen, and I feel like it's either they've tangled up with each other, or Cameron made a really bad mistake and just absolutely dropped it. Either two is a possibility, but as you can see, Jensen is now ahead by a lot, a lot, and it's just set at 1:46.9, which is quite ridiculous. It's a 1:47.1, so they are similar on pace, but not quite there. But back onto this battle, Sam just probably very frustrated because he just can't get past this McLaren of Dion, and the straight line speed and the slipstream just isn't helping him to get past. Like, the only time he can get past Dion is when Dion makes a really bad mistake, and Sam makes a little bit of a mistake, goes very deep, so loses a bit of time with Dion. Sandro will not be about that because it means he can catch up to Sam, but it just doesn't seem like Sandro has the pace to get up to these two right now. These two are just lapping a little bit quicker than, well, I say a little bit, it's maybe a second last lap, but I feel like he may not have that pace to get into this battle. It's quite a shame actually, because I really want to see all three of these cars battle. It just seems like Dion and Sam are in a league of their own at the moment, that Sandro just can't get up into, which is quite frustrating as a driver. You know, you see people in front of you, you want to race them, but if you can't catch up to them, you know, you get really frustrated. But not really any close battles on track at the moment, not massively anyway. Jeremy Pope just, he can't catch up to Sandro at all. And as you can see, Nick Van Gelder is only 2 seconds away from Jeremy Pope, but I feel like that might increase over the lap time that we have left, because Jeremy Pope's car is rapid in a straight line, but it doesn't seem to be too handy in the corners. Dion pulled out a little bit of a gap to Sam, 1.5, which is pretty decent. bit of leverage, kind of breaks the slipstream a little bit, but see there, Sandro is dropping back ever so slightly, and he will be wishing that Sam catches up to Dion and starts making him life a little bit difficult, because if he do, he can pick up the pieces and take the positions. But it just seems like he needs to have that pace advantage over Sandro right now, especially Dion with a 1:47.5. He's lapping quite close to front runners actually. It's quite interesting because Cameron last week was very disappointing, and I think he'd be very disappointed in himself for last round's performance. You know, he didn't finish very well, but I knew anyway. I knew in myself like Cameron would probably do a lot better around here. I mean, it's a bit more of a racing track, layout, you know, and I feel like Cameron is a very fast driver, like on most games. But it's kind of like the last race he had, it probably just wasn't his race, and he probably just didn't adapt to the race. Like the rain and the fog and all that, probably didn't adapt to it too well. So maybe having that race last week probably would have just given him that confidence in terms of, you know, I'm going to do better. I'm going to do better next week, and I'm going to do my best sort of thing. So he's done a lot better here, and he'll probably be a lot happier with himself, with where he is. And he will score good points if he finishes second, and he'll bring him right back up the table and bring it a lot closer, because Jensen didn't really have a great finish last time either. Jensen would probably be quite disappointed with himself in his finish. I mean, don't get me wrong, he had a good recovery from having a couple spins and everything else, but fifth is not where Jensen Randall wanted to be. Jensen was P1 at the start of the race, and don't get me wrong, at the end of the race he was P5, and it was a good finish, but it's not where Jensen Randall wants to be. He wants to be right at the see here, Sam has dropped off Dion massively and has actually gone into clutches of Sandro. So this is quite interesting now, because Dion has the opportunity just to pull away. From this battle, which will probably be in his best interest, because all this battling and squabbling will really reduce the time that he gains on them. So Dion is cruising right now, a lot quicker on the straights, like a lot quicker. You can see it on the Delta. It's just rinsing them on the straights, but it doesn't pull it away massively. Sometimes Dion has been losing time to these guys, but as you can see here, Sandro is just behind Sam, and he is catching. Sandro has posted a 47.6, which is pretty quick, to say the least, compared to Sam. We want to look at the timings. The fastest lap at the moment, and I'm looking at it, is Jensen Randall with 46.5. No, Cameron with a 46.556. And at the moment, Dion has a penalty of 3 seconds, which I've actually not noticed. So Dion does have a 3-second penalty, which in this current race would probably drop him. Maybe not. I don't know. Not yet. Anyway, like it's still 13 minutes left. But if Sandro just keeps behind Sam, he'll get past him on penalties, which is really good for Sandro, because he would definitely want the extra points. So Nick Ragnola is on the back of Jeremy Pope here, and I think everyone else will want Jeremy Pope to be passed here. Everyone else, meaning Jensen Randall, Dion and Sandro, because they definitely don't want their points leader scoring more points. So if Nick gets past him, he'll go into 7th and score less points. This would not be ideal for Jeremy Pope. He probably won't be happy with today's race, but at the end of the day, he is in the points, so no complaining there. Funds is P8, still scoring points. He only really has to finish this race and he scored some points. Ready about the start is, I don't know where he is. He's somewhere in Wales at this point. But Jensen is extending his gap to Cameron, flexing the muscles of his pace. Dion Stoll is extending the gap to Sam, nearly 4 seconds now. So he's doing very well. If he finishes like this, he finishes the same as he did last week, and I don't think he'll be too sad with back-to-back podiums. Sandro has definitely dropped off Sam now, and this is quite annoying because this is what keeps happening. Sandro goes really quick and is pretty much on the back of Sam, and then out of nowhere he drops back another second, and then we have to wait another couple of laps for him to get back together again. Nick and Jeremy Pope, quite close. I just feel like that Porsche has a lot more speed than, yeah, you can see the speedometer, he's probably about 7 mile an hour, 8 mile an hour quicker, and that does really make a lot of difference. Oh my goodness, Dion has made a mistake! No way has Dion just made a mistake in the last 10 minutes of this race, and now he has a lot of work to do. He has to get past Sandro, and not only does he need to get past Sandro, he needs to get past Sam. And Sam will be very happy with that. He'll be like, yeah, I've got a car between me that I can keep behind me, you know, I've been outpacing Sandro this whole race. You know, I can keep these guys behind me and get P3, you know, he'll be very happy with that. It's only 10 minutes remaining, and Dion will be kicking himself. He'll be very annoyed with himself. I would, if I was him, you know, just dropping out podium places like that in the last couple of laps, you know, that's not very, that's not ideal at all. And it's not like he's going to be easy pickings either, because Sandro has been doing pretty well in that Acura. And it seems like Sam has just got a little bit more than the cars behind. Dion seems to be struggling to get back up. Which would not be ideal for him. But it's ideal for us because we want to see more battles. So hopefully Dion can catch Sam, or Sandro can catch Sam, and then we'll see a battle. And this battle for third is becoming very interesting. We'll see what happens. It doesn't seem like there's any other battles. In fact, I mean, there is Jeremy Pope and Nick, but Nick has just not really got, I don't know, it doesn't really have a mile per hour to get past Jeremy Pope on the straights. Keeps it nice and tidy around that corner though. But back to this battle, back to the battle that is very important because it is for P3. Nice train of cars here. It seems like Sam is flashing his lights at me. You're right, mate, I can see you. I can see you. But we'll see what happens at the end of this race and see if he'll be flashing his lights then. So it does seem like Dion is actually dropping back now, which is pretty interesting considering things, because he was the pace, he was the guy who had the most pace, but it seems like Sandro has kind of just adapted and gone, do you know what, I'm quicker than you guys, I want this position, I need this position. And this will be really good for Sandro, actually. If Sandro can get this podium position, he'll be very, very nicely at the top. I think he'll be at the top of the championship. And that's exactly what he wants, you know. Anyone wants to be at the top of the championship, you know. A back-to-back podium for Sandro, P2, P3 would be lovely, you know. But Sam has said, nah, mate, I'm here right now. And Sandro only has 7 minutes of this race left. And he will know that, and he will definitely want to get past Sam. So Nick has finally got past Jeremy Pope, and that'll be happy days for Jensen. Jensen very much ahead of everyone else. Cameron is still 6 seconds behind. Still lapping very quick, but you know, he's got to be lapping at 145s, 144s, you know, and I don't even think that's possible, so yeah, good luck. But as we see here, Dion is right on the back of Sandro now, looking very racy in the McLaren, really wants that position back, and getting a lot closer now. I don't know how they've not caught up to Sam yet. Lamborghini seems like it's got another gear now. Absolutely rapid on the straights compared to them, 2 behind. But they do have a lot of time left to make up the positions. So, as we can see here, Leon has got a lot better run out of that corner there compared to Sandro. Pulls alongside Sandro, takes the position nice and easily. Sandro goes down into P5, and Dion is on the charge for the last 6 minutes. He wants Sam. He's told Sam, he's like, I want that position, mate. I want it. And you know what? I've said it before, and I'll say it again. The mistakes have really proved very, very crucial here. You know, Dion makes a mistake, he has to work his absolute arse off to get to the top again, and you know, it's just shown in the last race also with Jensen. You know, he might have made mistakes then in that first race, but it seems like he's ironed them out pretty nicely, and he's done pretty well this whole race. You know, he's not had too many mistakes. I think he has like 1 or 2. But he's done pretty well, and he's not really spanned at all, and that's why he's first. And that's why Cameron isn't, because I think they may have had a bit of a thingy. But Dion is right on the back of Sam now, and Sam knows he's there. We definitely know he's there, and Dion now has 4 minutes to get in front of Sam. This is very interesting though. So I believe Sam has a lot more penalties. Yeah, Sam has 1 second of penalties. Sam has 1 second of penalties, and to be honest, Dion also has 3 seconds of penalties. So if Sandro can just keep in these twos, like about 1 second of these two, they should be fine. He should be fine, and he might actually grab third off them both, and they're squabbling, absolutely screws them right over. Dion goes off track just to pass Sam, goes on his outside, goes around side by side. Sam, very nice defending by Sam there, but Sandro is like, yes, keep battling, please do, you're gaining me time, you're making it easier for me to get the third position. And these penalties are going to be crucial, because I feel like Sandro might nick this in the end. It was a great battling by these two, and round goes Dion into third place. And I'm not surprised Dion's taken the position again, because Dion has been on top of his game, but can he stay on the track this time? We need to see this unfold, because Dion has made many mistakes, and to be in P3 is very good, but he needs to keep it on the track, and he needs... Oh my goodness, Sam makes a mistake. It seems like he looked up into the gravel, or the grass, and that has given Sandro a lovely opportunity, but unfortunately Sam makes up the ground on Sandro. That is Rene. It's a random bloke in like last place. I'm joking, Rene. But Sandro just needs to keep within these guys, because if he does, he will get these on penalties, and I think he'd be very happy with that. Sam goes a little bit on the grass there, trying to get as wide as he can to make the entrance of the corner the best he can. I feel like Dion doesn't make any mistakes. I feel like, yeah, Nick's got 6 second penalties also, so Jeremy Pope will pick that mistake behind him. But Dion is pulling away. As you can see, Dion does have the pace on him. Just whether he makes a mistake or not. Come on, Dion, don't make a mistake, lad. Oh, and he makes a little mistake, just a little one. He keeps it on the track, but he makes a little mistake, and all the mistakes count, and they've just come right back into his slipstream. And Dion really has making himself work harder here. He's making his life a lot harder to stay in front of these two. He's got the pace, he just keeps overshotting it into that corner there. As we can see, Sandro is just behind this pack, and he hasn't got any penalties. He has not got any penalties. So Sandro, at this present moment, I feel like is taking P3 right off Dion and Sam. And will be the best out of the two because he's got 1 more second of penalties. Oh my goodness. What has happened to Jeremy Pope's car? Oh my goodness, his car is absolutely wrecked, and that, I feel like that might have just happened, because his car is absolutely screwed, and Funds is just behind him, so he can take this position right off him in the death, and oh my goodness, Jeremy Pope has had a bit of a howler of a race, from first to 8th. Very ideal for him, but it is what it is. But Sandro is keeping in, and I feel like Sandro will take first place off this right now, which is very lovely for him. So that is the end of time. We are just waiting for Jenson Randall to finish his lap. Looks like Jensen's going to win this one very nicely, ahead of every car by near enough 30 seconds, 33 seconds, pretty much doing the Jeremy Pope this round. I think he's done very well in just keeping his car on track today. But Dion is trying to extend the gap. Dion might actually keep P3 here. Because Sandro is falling high a little bit. I don't know what has happened there, but Dion just seems to have lost a lot of time to Sam straight, and I don't know if he realises he has penalties. Sam's right on the rear of his bumper, gives him a little nudge, just a little one, but that may have actually helped not Sandro, Dion. So I don't know if this is still going. Yeah. So Cameron's still racing. Jensen has won this race, easy as you like. But it's still racing here. We are still racing. Cameron has finished this race now. So Dion needs to keep it going, because Sam is just behind him, and it's a race to the line. Here we go. Dion keeps going. And Sandro takes P3. Out of all of that, Sandro takes P3, and Sam takes P5. Dion takes Sam takes P4, Dion takes P5. Oh my goodness, Sandro will be very happy with that. I think out of all of that, he'll be very happy. Funds takes P6, so it makes it work. Nick takes P7, so drops right back off the front, but still scores points. Jeremy Pope, I do not know what happened to Jeremy Pope today. I think a couple bumps here and there, and then probably had a total, absolute wreck of a crash. That was not ideal for him in defending the top of the championship, and I feel like Sandro might be at the top of the championship now. So yeah, that was not ideal for him, and definitely not ideal for the racing team. But Sandro, I feel like, is at the top now, and I'd be very, very happy with that. I certainly would be. Very good race by Sandro there. I think Jensen goes third. Yeah, so Jensen goes third. So Jensen first place, Cameron second, Sandro third. And then you can see the rest of your running order. But that was a great battle at the end, and I thank them 3 racers for making that very interesting at the end. It's very good to see that type of racing from them. I need to invite them now, and we have to ask them what do they feel about that race. So I'm gonna invite Jensen now, the winner of this race. Done very well with that race now, and takes P2 in the Drivers' Championship by my maths. So I think, we're very happy with that. Hello, Jensen Randall. That was a great race today, man. How did you feel?
Yeah, it was a good race. It wasn't the easiest, of course. Cameron was very, very fast today, and I think we were together for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Like half of the race, we were fighting for the lead, and he started to drop off a little bit near the end of the race, and then he started catching back up again.
Yeah, it was very interesting to see the battle between you two. Did you expect Cameron to be so fast?
He had a good pace in the wet qualifying, and he ended up being in a lead for most of the first stint. But yeah,
that was a good race by you two. It was very enjoyable to watch, and it was a lot more consistent from you this week as well. Kept it a lot more on track, and you're probably a lot more happy with this result, considering you finished P5 last time and you kind of crashed out of first place a couple times, and frustration would have been building. But it is very impressive to see the first place from you today, and probably boost your confidence quite a bit, didn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Okay.
Yeah, it was very impressive, and you take P2 in the championship now from that race. You're on 15 points now, just behind Sandro, who is now in first. He takes it by just a couple points, because he actually finished third, I believe. So I think actually you might be neck and neck if I do the maths properly. But so you might be in first. Yeah, so that was very impressive.
Oh. Hey-ho.
Yeah, it was very impressive, man. And I'll probably be very good for going into the next round. So well done for that, and good luck for next round, man.
Thank you.
So here we go. We need to invite Cameron. Don't know where Cameron is. Where is he? I'll invite Cameron in a minute. We'll just talk to Sandro first. You alright, Sandro?
Hey man.
How did you feel today, man? It was very close racing from you, Dion, and Sam. That was a very interesting battle at the end. How did you feel on it?
Yeah, it was kind of disappointed with the start of my race. I felt like I made a mistake quite early on, I think on lap 2, and lost like 5 positions, which I couldn't get back throughout the race. I think I had quite solid pace, maybe around, probably the 3rd best pace overall.
Yeah.
I didn't have a lot of practice this week, so I didn't really know where I would be in the race, but I felt quite well, especially when the fog went away and the track conditions got better. I improved my pace. And P3, I'll take it all day. Good points for the championship, and that's ultimately what I am aiming for, is the title in this season.
So, if you didn't know, I've just calculated it. I think we're 2nd in the championship now, just behind Jensen Randall, which comes to no surprise. Obviously, winning the race today. But how did you feel, Dion, today? Like, he was on fire, but he just couldn't keep it on track. Like, how did you feel with the battle in between Dion? Was he very racy? Was he very aggressive? He looked very fast, to say the least.
I feel like Dion was probably the fastest driver on track today with raw pace. He was rapid, but the thing is, he wasn't really consistent. He made many mistakes, and ultimately in the end, it wasn't really a battle since I knew Dion and Samuel had both penalties. So I just kind of sit there, played strategically, and didn't take too many risks, and ultimately picked up both positions in the end. But feel bad for Dion, man. I know he's definitely disappointed for him. But I mean, in the end, it is what it is, and I think he's experienced enough to handle this after this race and come back strong.
Yeah. So back-to-back podiums from last week and this week. You'd be very happy with that, I'd say, considering all things.
Yeah, definitely. It's not like I feel I'm super quick in the car, but the thing is, I feel a certain consistency in the Acura that I haven't felt in ages, not even in the F1 Championship, on F1 2020 or even F1 2019. I feel super confident going to corners, into late braking and stuff, and I don't feel like I'm losing the car or anything, and I just generally feel very safe in the car, and I don't feel like I'm forcing myself into mistakes. So I'm quite confident for the upcoming rounds. I feel like I found the right setup for the car, and I've got a good feel for the handling of the Acura. Man, I'm confident.
Yeah, I definitely see that in your Acura. I've not seen you make many mistakes. I've really only seen you make 1 or 2 mistakes on track compared to other drivers on track who have made bundles of mistakes, like Dion and Jensen, like last race. It's been very impressive, and your consistency throughout the 2 rounds have been very good. And of course, you'll be wanting to take that into the next couple of rounds and aim for the championship, because it seems like you do have the pace for the championship at this present moment and the consistency. So you should be very happy with everything that's gone on so far and being 2nd in the championship.
Yeah, I definitely am. I think this is a pretty good start of the season. I can't remember the last time I was up in the championship fight like that. Quite some time ago, so I'm happy with that, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the season.
Thanks, man. Have a good day. Appreciate it. Good race today, man.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it, man.
I need to invite Cameron. Where's Cameron? Hold on, folks. We're just inviting P2. I just can't see him on my friends list at the moment. Seems like he might be appearing offline. Hold on. Right, I got him, yeah. I got him. Got him. Should probably join in like a minute. But how was everyone feeling about that race today? It was great. It was a really good race. I really enjoyed the battle for the P3 in the last couple of minutes. It was like last 12, 13 minutes. Very enjoyable to see that from the drivers, especially Sandro, Dion and Sam. It was great battling, and Dion, as you can hear yourself, Dion did have the pace today, but it was just the consistency, and Sandro being very strategic in just his racing, just keeping it behind them, knowing that they had penalties and didn't have to push too hard on the tyres and burn the fuel. So it was very impressive from him today, and yeah, he gets the result in P3 and he gets the back-to-back podiums, which is of course what everyone wants in the racing league. Got to score those points. We're just waiting for Cameron to join now. I don't know if he's actually joined the party yet. Can't see him. We just wait a couple more minutes for him. But yeah, like I said, it's been very interesting to see who is the total pace king. But it's not been that easy. It's been very mixed up. You know, you see Jeremy Pope just right at the back scoring 1 point today. You know, he'll be very disappointed with that. You know, knowing that he does have the pace and knowing he does have a quick car and knowing that he is a good driver, but ends up in P8 today, and it's just the consistency of the drivers that needs to be at the top of the list. Because if you're not quick, at least be consistent. But if you are quick and you're not consistent, you know, it works both ways. You're not going to finish very high, and you're going to end up crashing and burning. And don't get me wrong, I'm actually quite disappointed that Dion didn't finish quite high today, because his car is my favourite car. But of course, that is how racing is, and that is how life is. And it doesn't seem like Cameron Weston Edwards is going to be joining the party. I can't see him. I can't contact him in any way. So yeah, it doesn't seem like we're going to get an interview with Cameron Weston Edwards today. But I think he'll be very happy with his racing, and he'll be very happy with the result today, considering he did finish quite low in the order last time out. And of course, as racers, of course I race in the F1 series, but as all racers, we all want to finish in the points, and we all want to finish with the best points and do the best. So yeah, it's good for Cameron today, because him finishing P2 will probably put him third in the championship, or maybe fourth. So I think he'll be very impressed and very happy with that. And I think that the Mercedes AMG racing team go to the top of the constructors, and then I think Sandro's team may have gone second. So it's very, very good race for them today. So yeah, I don't think I'm going to get an interview with Cameron because he's not joined yet. So yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed that race today. I certainly did. I mean, the racing was absolutely amazing. We did have a lot of battles, and of course, yeah, I'll see you in round 3, or you might see me in the next round of Formula 1 driving on track. But until next time, guys, take care and have a fun life. I'm joking, but yeah, take care, guys.